A Universal Awakening book review of Heal Thyself by White Eagle. Heal Thyself by White Eagle is a nice, easy read which beautifully inspires the reader to experience the dimension which is unaffected by worldly happenings in order to heal thyself. In Chapter 1, The Life-Giving Spirit, White Eagle states, "You are spirit. The real you, the consciousness, is spirit." White Eagle encourages us to seek the Christ light within. If you will seek the presence of Christ, who is the life spirit of this world, you will receive perfect healing. In Chapter 2, Realize the Spirit Within You, White Eagle reminds us about how hardships are sent our way so that we may grow in faith and strength, and how whatever happens in our life is as God intended. We cannot remind you too often that the trials of the flesh and material life which you endure are sent that you may gain wisdom from the experience. God is the great architect of the universe, and God does not play havoc with her material. God builds according to the true law. God lays the stones of the temple of your life just, perfect, and true. In Chapter 3, White Eagle encourages us to be positive and provides methods to calm negative energies. Many people ask how they can silence the intrusion of the daily mind in their meditations. We think the best way is to ignore the intruder. Do not worry about it. Just concentrate more than ever on the God within. That concentration will become so absorbing and so powerful that the little outer mind will wilt and be unable to penetrate the enormous power of prayer to God. Concentrate your whole being on God until the realization of God's love becomes such a necessity to you that you desire nothing else. When desire for God possesses you and fills you with power and light, everything else will fall away and you will become a living force of God's light. In Chapter 4, Divine Law and Solvent of All Pain, White Eagle provides insights on how suffering can be overcome. Every soul seems to suffer, but if you can see that suffering in its right perspective, you will see that it brings a rebirth. Through limitation and suffering, the soul emerges into the divine life and light, just as the insect emerges from the chrysalis stage into a beautiful winged creature in the sunlight. Love is the solvent for every problem. Whatever it is, you will find that if you apply human and divine love to the situation, your problem will disappear. With patience and love, every human ill can be overcome. In Chapter 5, Acceptance and Illumination, the chapter opens with the sentence, "Not my will, but thine be done." When you are confused by life's problems, seek your own inner sanctuary. Humbly kneel before the presence of the Golden One. Do not let your earthly mind argue. Surrender yourself to divine law and you will have peace and joy. You will have no doubts that all is right, all is well. If you are in tune with God, you will know that God is love and God's way is always the right way. Trust God and have faith. If you know you have been rebellious, ask humbly for forgiveness. This is your only free will choice, not whether you will go this way or that way, but whether you will accept your experiences in love and humility, or whether you will be rebellious and angry, full of torturous emotion. In Chapter 6, The Higher Self, we are told about the possibility of merging with the higher self, which is within us. The way to approach this higher self is by surrender of personal desire, of self-love, and by contemplation in a state of adoration of the Supreme Being called Christ. In course of time, you will learn to distinguish very clearly between these two parts of your being, the Earth Self and the Christ Self. Jesus, in his simple ministry, told the people to seek God. I and my Father are one. This is the source of healing power. When you are suffused with the holy light, the divine fire, through walking closely with God, the healing power pours from you. Never forget that of yourself you are nothing and can do nothing. It is the power that works in you that accomplishes God's will. This is important because God works as she wills, not as you will. At the end of the book, White Eagle offers a healing service with which you can directly experience the Christ consciousness. I really enjoyed reading the book, and I recommend it to anyone who feels a natural yearning to merge with the divine within. The book is fairly short and offers practical guidance that you can apply to your everyday life. One last point I wish to make is, when reading spiritual books, it's important to read them in such a way that you feel what the words are pointing to. Don't just gain more and more knowledge, but really absorb the words. Be very present and don't rush through the book. It's not about how much you read, it's about incorporating the wisdom and becoming the living proof that God exists.